Hello, how are we doing today? This conversation is very, I think it has been beat about a little bit. I think we're in a generation, whereby God's grace, I will do my bid to help drive believers towards Jesus and those who have not believed towards Jesus, because that's really where it starts and stops. The buck stops with knowing and embracing who Jesus is. I've One of the things I've learned is that faith without foundation is not enough to try to emulate those who have walked in it. I'll give example. The bone of Elijah or Elisha raised a dead man, but not everybody's bone can do that. While it is impressive and a child of God can desire that, desiring it is not just enough. Desiring it is good enough to say, this desire will drive me to find out what I need to do to walk in that. But just desiring it by itself is not enough. Now brings me to the real conversation I want to have, which is, what are the things that are needed to drive that kind of life where the shadow of Peter can heal, or Elijah will walk into a place and breathe into a young man and he comes alive. Jesus will walk and say, Talitha Kumi, and the child will rise. Jesus will see a sea and walk and he's sleeping. What are the things that happened? What are the things that formed those, the ability to perform and do those kinds of miracles or supernatural stuff? Check well. None of these people lived a casual life. None of them. Not even Jesus, who already by default was a God nature. They never lived a casual life. Now, Jesus lived a fasted life and a disciplined life and a prayerful life. Jesus had consecrations he could not break. Exactly. Same with Elijah. Same with Elisha. These men had consecrations they could not break. There were things that formed their way of life. And so you cannot wish it. I think that's what I want to drive. So you can say, oh, I'm a new creation, and because of that I can drive. No, it sounds great. Sounds very, my brother will say, Christianese, but it doesn't really work like that. It doesn't. It might probably happen for first timer somehow, something, but it doesn't. It's not sustainable like that. That being said, I am beseeching anyone, any child of God who desires to function in these kinds of gifts, be ready for the commensurate sacrifice that is there. That way, it is easy. Anything you get out of a process, I'll give example. The process at which you get to a thing, in most times, is more important than that thing. If you got into government, got into power by the right process, you're most likely going to do right. But if you got into something, if you received something through a quick fix means, you're most likely not going to pay attention to that or take it seriously. That being said, fight the good fight of faith. That's where I'm headed to. Thank you, Holy Ghost. Fight the good fight of faith, so that the gift or the grace that you have received, you will not meddle with it. Child of God, that's where I'm headed to today. You see how you desire to walk in that ability to be able to speak right, to say things and they happen, to lay hands on the sick and they recover, to be able to do what is function as Jesus did. There are things that he had to do. Nobody gets to a place of relevance, whether physically, professionally, without a routine, without a culture, without a tradition, without a ritual. There are things that guide those level of successes. I came today to tell you, my brother, my sister, fight the good fight of faith. Follow the process. Find Jesus. Once you seek the kingdom and find it, every other thing, these signs will follow them who believe. These signs will follow them. There's a reason. There's something you need to do for the things to follow you. Find Jesus, the one who gives, and these signs will begin to follow you. I pray this touches someone today. God bless you.